China and Jeff Bezos, they were going to be cute, but the Trump White House called out their hypocrisy. Punchbowl News reported that the e-commerce giant had planned to display how much of an item's cost is derived from tariffs right next to the product's total listed price. But after President Trump placed an angry call to billionaire Jeff Bezos, Amazon backpedaled and said that the idea was never approved and it was not going to happen. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt accused the Seattle-based web giant of being China-aligned over the Punchbowl report and said that it was a hostile and political act made by Amazon, considering that Amazon didn't do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years. Now, I guess it's all water under the bridge now, as President Trump commented that Jeff Bezos is very nice and that he solved the problem very, very quickly. He did the right thing. So looks like the billionaire CEO is taking a cue from China, who, for all their huffing and puffing, seem to be waiving a lot of their tariff threats on the U.S. They just waived a 125% tariff on ethane products from the U.S. on Tuesday. Add that to the list of growing products that China has granted tariff exemptions for amid the ongoing trade war with Washington. Now, just last week, Chinese officials granted exemptions from pharmaceuticals, microchips, and aircraft engines, and they were asking firms to identify critical goods that they need levy-free. As Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said, Chinese tariffs are unsustainable for China. If these numbers stay on, the Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly. And even if there is a drop in the tariffs, they could still lose 5 million jobs. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., Red Apple Group Chairman and CEO John Katitis, he said that the prices of groceries and gasoline has actually fallen under President Trump. Albertsons Companies, America's second largest grocery chain, also warned its suppliers that the retailer will not be accepting tariff-related price hikes. I mean, that's just the right stance to take here, guys. Remember, guys, these people, these countries, these suppliers, they're the ones that are supposed to be having to pay, not us. You know what I mean? Let them pay for this. I think it's high time we call them out for their BS. And this is exactly what the Trump administration is doing right now. Apart from Caroline Leavitt and Scott Bessent, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy Stephen Miller told Fox News host John Roberts that his network needs to fire its pollster. This is after Roberts cited a new Fox News poll finding that Trump is underwater on several key issues relating to his job performance. Miller also scoffed at the poll and said Fox News polls favored former Vice President Kamala Harris in the summer of 2024. Plus, why don't they talk about Trump's high numbers on border security and immigration? Seriously, these people would do anything to make the news. Am I right, guys? Well, I am personally glad that we got President Trump at the wheel together with his team, who's ready to call out these people on these bluffs. Here's the clip of Caroline Leavitt and Scott Bessent. Watch.
It was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
I will take this, since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon. And Secretary, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I would also add that the bringing down the terrible Biden inflation has been a priority for the first 100 days of the Trump administration, and President Trump has done a great job of leading that. Since January 20th, interest rates, mortgage rates are down, gasoline and energy prices are down. We're expecting the further decreases. And as Caroline said, the big tax on consumers that goes unnoticed is deregulation or regulation, and we are deregulating and bringing that down. So, from a household income point of view, we would expect real purchasing increases. We've seen them over the first 100 days, and we would expect that to accelerate. We are doing peace deals, trade deals, tax deals and deregulating. And the deregulation is a longer lead time, but I think by the third and fourth quarters, that's really going to kick in.
I mean, honestly, our landfills are stuffed with cheap Chinese junk anyway. We're better off consuming less regardless of tariffs. Plus, Levitt made a very good point here. Where was all the pearl clutching from these companies and reporters when President Biden was in charge and inflation was at a 40-year high?
I will say that there was no mention whatsoever at Amazon about Joe Biden's inflation. And the fact is that we got to 40-year highs. Inflation measured by the Consumer Price Index was up 9.1%. We all remember we were at the cash register. Everything cost so much more. So, you know, why they're putting a little bug now, this is because of the tariffs, and they didn't put a little bug, this is because of the $7 trillion spent by the Democrats under Joe Biden, is a question. Yeah.
Since Amazon is so concerned about the prices that we're paying, maybe they should post their markups on their products as well. What do you guys think? Level 65 unlocked. Welcome to Medicare mode. Beware, hidden fees, misleading plans, and confusing fine print ahead. Unless you use the cheat code chapter. They always help players like you beat the Medicare game, checking every plan, helping you save money, and keeping your doctor in network. Julie in Kansas scored $400 a year in savings. Jamie in Texas recovered $600 in Social Security benefits. And guess what, guys? It's totally free. There's no paywall. There's no pressure. Just call our friends over at Chapter. Their phone number is 909-563-8279 and tell them your friend Ron sent you. Or you can also visit them on the web. You can go to askchapter.org/Ron. It's time to win at Medicare. Now, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy Stephen Miller, he's also commented on President Trump's call to Bezos and said that things worked out exactly as they should. Here, watch this.
But I understand there might have been a phone call from the president to Jeff Bezos on this morning.
I have no news to add on it. All I can say is that things worked out, John, exactly as they should. And the president is going to continue. Remember, what's our objective here? Our objective is we want these products, we want these supply chains, to the extent possible, to be manufactured here in America, where they will benefit from a lower corporate tax, they will benefit from a significant deregulation, and the most affordable, abundant energy anywhere in the world.
So speaking of products,
even for a billionaire like Jeff Bezos, there are still people you just don't cross. And President Trump, he just reminded everyone who's boss. You see, Amazon was ready to add on a new label to its budget site, Amazon Haul, showing just how much of a product's price came from tariffs. The idea was to let customers know how much Trump's trade policies were costing them. But that all quickly changed after Jeff Bezos got an angry phone call from President Trump. One phone call, that's all it took for Amazon to abandon the plan. One call, that's all. Comment down below if you know where that's from. I mean, sure, the company said that the idea wasn't official, but the timing sure makes it pretty clear what really happened. Amazon said that it had ruled out a plan to display a tariff surcharge on product listings after the White House called it a hostile and political act. Trump's press secretary even called out Amazon, accusing them of being China aligned, and questioned why they didn't do something similar during the Biden years. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? Now, of course, Amazon just tried to downplay it after the fact. Spokesperson said that the team that runs their ultra low cost Amazon Haul store has considered the idea of listing import charges on certain products. This was never approved and it was not going to happen according to them. But the real reason behind the label was pretty clear. According to the original report, Amazon decided on the label because it doesn't want to shoulder the blame for the cost of President Trump's trade war. So yeah, Trump made the phone call and Bezos pulled the idea. And hours after the reversal, President Trump was praising Jeff Bezos publicly, saying that he appreciated what he did. He did the right thing. I mean, definitely a sharp contrast from their famously tense relationship during President Trump's first term. In fact, the transformation has been brewing for a long time. In an interview with The Atlantic, Trump described the transformation of once adversarial relationships with Jeff Bezos and Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg into partnerships grounded in mutual respect. According to Trump, they've adjusted their company's policies to align a little bit more with his administration's values. He even said it's just a higher level of respect and that maybe they just didn't know him at the beginning and they know him now. I mean, they're definitely falling in line. Jeff Bezos blocked his newspaper's editorial board from publishing a prepared endorsement of Trump's opponent, then Vice President Kamala Harris, just before the last election. He also restructured the Washington Post's opinion section so that a lot of his left-leaning voices left the paper, meaning that there is a pivot toward a little bit more of a, let's just call it market-friendly editorial tone. Oh, and Jeff Bezos also donated $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund through Amazon. So really, we're seeing a relationship that's now more cooperation than confrontation. I mean, let's be real here. This wasn't just a policy reversal. This was a demonstration of power. Jeff Bezos may run one of the most influential companies in the world, but Trump showed him that he still holds the kind of authority that can make giants back down. Not with legislation or court orders, but just with a phone call. We all know in politics and business, money talks, but power gets the final word. And in this case, Trump's message came through loud and clear. Drop a quick yes in the comments, guys. Hit the like button if I'm making sense to you guys. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more hot takes like this one. More proof of Trump's influence, China backpedaling on their tariffs. Just this week, China backed off of a massive 125% tariff on U.S. ethane. This is a move that, let's just say, didn't happen in a vacuum. It came right after the White House turned up the pressure and predicted Beijing couldn't afford to keep playing hardball. And now this, because not only is this a major reversal, it's market shifting considering that China buys about half of all U.S. ethane exports. That's not a rounding error. And let's be clear, guys, this tariff wasn't just some legacy policy. It was imposed just weeks ago as a retaliation to Trump's April 2nd Liberation Day tariff campaign, his bold push to reassert American leverage in global trade. So what changed? The pressure worked, plain and simple. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made it clear what was coming if China didn't ease up. If these numbers stay on, Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly. And even if there is a drop in the tariffs, that they could lose 5 million jobs. That's just economic reality, you guys. Because yes, the U.S. has the trade deficit, but that also means leverage. And as Scott Bessent put it, they sell almost 5 times more goods to us than we sell to them. So the onus will be on them to take off these tariffs. These are unsustainable for them. And here's the thing, China knows that. That's why ethane was just the latest in the growing list of American products that China is quietly removing tariffs on. Just last week, they eased up on the pharmaceuticals, microchips, aircraft engines, and even started asking companies what else they need tariff-free. That's not strength, guys. That's damage control. It's also more proof of the Trump effect. Not only does one call from President Trump make CEOs like Jeff Bezos drop their plans overnight, but entire governments rethink their strategies when their policies start to bite. Trump's approach is not always subtle, but it is effective. And now, even China, the very country that he's targeted most aggressively, is showing signs it cannot afford to play this game that much longer. And according to Scott Bessent, this could be just the beginning. A trade deal with India and other Asian markets is already being hinted at. He said that they have been the most forthcoming in terms of doing the deals so that he could see some announcements on India. The message is clear. Trump isn't just changing the conversation in America. He's reshaping the global trade map, and no one, not even Amazon, not China, is immune. He's also changing things for the better right here in our own backyard. Hear it straight from Red Apple Group Chairman and CEO John Katitis. Grocery and gasoline prices are down under President Trump. Check this out.
Apple Group CEO, the owner of 2 New York grocery store chains, as well as a United Refining Company Chairman and CEO, John Katitis. John, great to see you. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Happy Easter.
And to you, the president says grocery prices are falling. What are you seeing at the grocery stores right now? Are prices down?
Eggs are the lowest price that they've been in over a year. Wow. Other prices are falling. And the price of gasoline is falling. So the price of food depends on the price of diesel fuel. And it's all dropping. So you're going to have a deflationary action towards things.
Yeah, I mean, look, you said many times on this program that once oil prices start going down, that's going to rein in inflation. And that's what President Trump is trying to do. Oil prices are certainly down from the highs.
They are down from the high. They almost hit 59 last week, and that means $1 a gallon, except maybe for California. You don't know what California does. And the price of food is heading down, and it's going to go down even more after they straighten out what's going on with the Panama Canal and what's going on with the Red Sea, because the Red Sea is still not open.
That's a great point. You know, our ships have been bullied. Our navy's sailors have been bullied by adversaries. But John, even as inflation is coming down, people are still expecting a recession. Some people. I spoke with the head of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, and she said no recession. But you talk with others, like from J.P. Morgan, they're expecting it. What are you expecting?
No recession.
No recession.
Business is, people are optimistic. People are going forward. People are believing on what President Trump is saying. The fact on the tariffs, we have straightened it out that the thing with the tariffs is they're going to go down. We may raise our tariffs to them, but they're going to lower their tariffs to us.
Yeah.
So it's a balancing effect. And people do not understand the balancing effect. I don't even think Chairman Powell understands the balancing effect.
Did you guys hear that? No recession. Plus, some of these grocery chains are taking a cue from the president, and they're setting their own rules when it comes to tariff-related price hikes. For one, Albertsons Companies, which operates more than 2,200 stores across the nation, including King's, Balducci's, Safeway, and Randalls, informed its suppliers that the retailer won't be accepting tariff-related price hikes. Plain and simple. That's what they call buyer power for you guys. The food and drug retailer, which made $80.4 billion in sales during the fiscal year 2024, operates its stores across 34 states and the District of Columbia. Suppliers just cannot afford to lose such a major buyer, and they know it. Now, for me, that's the kind of attitude that we need to adopt here. They want to do business with us. We set the terms, just like President Trump did. And as for pollsters like Fox News saying that people disapprove of Trump, they should just step aside. Or as White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy Stephen Miller suggested, they should be fired. Here, watch this.
He's about even on immigration in total, but everything else, he's sort of underwater. And particularly on the economy, tariffs, and inflation, he's well underwater. You've still got some work to do on that front. A lot of people think that he's spending too much time on tariffs and not enough time on the economy and lowering prices. What do you say?
Well, I don't want to make things awkward for you, John, but it is our opinion that Fox News needs to fire its pollster. And I won't surprise you with that. I don't think you're surprised that I'm saying that. But the Fox News pollster has always been wrong about President Trump. They were the ones that said all summer long that Kamala Harris was going to be the 47th president of the United States. So we don't acknowledge any of that polling.
I mean, I've never gotten a call from these pollsters, have you? I voted for everything that President Trump's doing, and I think he's doing a pretty good job, don't you? But let me know what you guys think on this one. Drop a quick comment down below. Let's get a conversation going. Also, don't forget to check out our recommended videos about to pop up here. As always, thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next time.